Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 73 of VoiceOFpunk. I'm your host, the Punk. Now, I know this has been a while. It's been about 3 weeks now since the final episode has aired, but I want to talk about the last season of Sons of Anarchy. Now, like I said before, Sons of Anarchy is my second favorite show of all time. And with the final episode and with the show ending, I want to look at the final season of this show on its own. And I want to bring the question out: was the final season of Sons of Anarchy, season 7? Was this a good season to end the show on? In all honesty, I do believe that this season, the final season, could have been better. I'm not saying the final episode was good. The final episode was fantastic. The final episode, I thought, was a perfect ending to the show. But just the whole final season on its own, I do believe it could have been done just a bit better. I think what really brings this season down for me anyway is the fact that it is the last season. If this season, if it didn't have, the ending with Jax dying, it had a different ending and stuff, and this was, say the second last season, then I believe this season would have been okay. But it really brings the season down at the fact that this was the season that the show ended on. And, just the right, Kurt Sutter is capable of so much more, and I think in a way this season was not what I expected. I expected a really explosive, just the show going out with a bang. You know what I mean? It's going out in a blaze of glory. And in the ending where Jax, he drives into the semi truck, pretty much does, but the season I felt was pretty slow. The build up with Gemma and how it was in a way, me and the rest of the fans, we didn't really care about the whole Chinese storyline, the whole gang war based on a lie. And in all honesty, that really felt like it was just filler. The whole Chinese gang war, and I knew there was going to be a gang war. It was, you can tell from the ending of season 6 there's going to be a gang war, and with the Sons in season 6 coming finally able to get themselves out of guns. And then there was this whole vacuum, just people just swarming in. You had the Bizlax, you had the Mayans, the Niners, the Chinese, all these people coming in trying to get the guns. And for me personally, I thought the whole gang war was going to be the subplot of the season. And then the main plot going to be trying to find the killer of Gemma. Trying to find the killer of Terra. And, in a way, the gang war really took the front and center main plot of the season, and the fact that it was all based on a lie from Gemma, that wasn't the gang war I expected to see. I expected to see, a power struggle. Who is going to get the guns? And in the end, it was the Mayans, which was, in the end of the series, the Mayans got the guns, and which was awesome. I love I loved the whole Mayans gang. I loved Marcus. I was happy that Marcus survived the entire show. But it just, this wasn't, it was just, this season wasn't anything I really expected, and it ran so slow and so much filler, and like, in a way, like, I just kind of wish that they really sped everything up, you know? Like, again, like with Gemma, the whole build up with Jax finding out that it was her, and I just felt that took way too long. And, I was happy. It was at the end of episode 10, I believe. It was the end of episode 10 that Abel tells him about Gemma, and which was fine. But I wish it would have happened like in episode 7, even episode 6, and so that part, I think I speak for many fans that the whole thing with Gemma, I thought that could have been done a bit better, and I thought the whole confrontation, if you could even call it that, between Gemma and Jax, I thought that was like very anticlimactic. Now, believe me, the acting in the final scene between Katie Seagal and Charlie Hunnam, their final moments together, that was beautiful. Beautiful scene. Like, such wonderful acting. But at the same time, it's like you got to hate this character, Gemma. Kickstarter made the fans hate her so much that for her to go out and, in a sense, a peaceful way, is very, very anticlimactic. Like, you see Jax going on a murderous rampage throughout the entire season, trying to, like, take revenge for his wife. And Jax pretty much goes insane in this final season. Just insane rage and anger and just with a vengeance. And when he finally finds out the killer was his mother, of course, the crying scene when he breaks down in front of Nero, again, beautiful acting. But this is just like this guy going on a murderous rampage, finds out it's his mother, finally gets his mother, like, alone. He didn't snap. He just pulled out his gun, teary-eyed, and shoots her. And, like, in all sense, he's, it's gonna shoot her. And I think we expected more of a punishment. More of, like, seeing Jax finally just snap. And so, like, Jax, so the entire, the very first episode, he tortures a man to death. But it was like just all this buildup of this guy's anger and vengeance all comes down to him shooting his wife's killer in the head in a peaceful way. And to me, I thought that was I think to me and to a lot of other people, I thought that was very anticlimactic, despite the fact that scene where Gemma dies was beautiful. I can't, like, that's the only bad thing I can say about it, because I actually feel bad for saying something bad about that scene, because, that scene alone had to win Charlie Hunnam and Katie Seagal. They had to win them so much awards. That scene was so wonderfully acted and so wonderfully shot. But it was just like, God, I wish there was more of, like, a punishment for Gemma, especially, like, this last season reveals that basically Gemma is the main villain of the show, which I thought was very clever. But anyway, then like some the good things about this season, of course, like I said before, was the acting. The acting in this season was fantastic. Like, I'm not taking anything away from these actors. Marilyn Manson, really good this season. I love this character of Ron Tolley. I wish that Ron Tolley, because if I remember correctly, I think it was advertised that Marilyn Manson's character, Ron Tolley, is going to be a bit more of a main villain. Like, I think it was advertised he wasn't playing the main villain of the season, but he was going to be one of the primary villains of the season, and if that makes any sense. And we didn't really get that. I guess we got it a little bit with his little, master slave thing with Juice, but other than that, we never really got any backstabbing from him. We never really got that, like, he wasn't really much of a adversary for the Sons. It's established he makes a partnership with Jax, but it was kind of advertised that he was going to be like a backstabber. And I was actually really excited for that, because the fact, like, I did hear, I think it was confirmed that he was going to spend the entire season in prison, or Ron Tully. And when I found out he was a backstabber, I thought it was like, wow, that'd be really cool. Like, having one of the main villains of the season never leaving prison, but is causing all this to happen from his cell. And I was really excited for that, because that is actually something very different in Sons. It's not a different thing than crime stories or anything like that, but it's a different thing with Sons. And I wanted to see the Sons of Anarchy's take on that kind of character, that kind of story. We got a little bit of that, really, like where he was ordering his men, giving Jax the okay to kill, I forgot his name, but to kill one white supremacist dude. Gives him permission for that, ordering his men to work with the Sons and all that. There's fireworks outside. But like, again, like, Marilyn Manson was wonderful as this character, and you can really, like, Marilyn Manson is, in my view anyway, a really great actor. As he played this character, you really got the sense that this guy was in charge. That this guy was the boss of these people, and he was just, I don't know, in a way, he was very, very convincing in his role. So yeah, it's like all in all, this season was that, like, again, like, I'm not saying the season was bad. I just thought it was a bad move to have this season be the final one, because like Ron Tully, like, again, going back to the character of Ron Tully, he would have been great throughout the show. He would have been a great character to have in all this, like, maybe not in all the seasons, but maybe like from season 4. If Ron Tully was in season 4, that would have been cool. And like if they wanted to continue on this season, they would have great material. They would have great material to go off on, and to carry on if this wasn't the last season. And and of course, if Jax cannot die and everything, like, after this season, you wouldn't need Gemma. That's, you can, like, if this season wasn't the last season, okay? If this season wasn't the last one, and let's keep Gemma dying, you can still carry the show without Gemma. Because, like I said, this season had so many good material that, like after the death of Gemma, and they continue with the next season, you can easily make Ron Tully the main bad guy. Or, maybe Marcus the main bad guy, Even had Zobel come back, I don't know. It's just like, with this being the last season, I just, like, again, like, I'm probably repeating myself, but this wasn't a good season to end on. I'm not saying it's bad, but this being the last season, it just wasn't good to end on. But again, like, the final episode is great. The final shot of the series is great. The final song of the series is great. Come Join the Murder. And again, these are my, these are just my thoughts on this season. Okay, well, like, I'm not really saying that much because my next video is going to be a retrospective of the entire show, so I'm going to bring up a lot of stuff there. But all in all, this is my thoughts on this season. This season could have been way more better than it was. They had a lot of material to work with, but I just wish they focused on. I think they would have, if they sped up the whole Gemma thing. Great. If they kind of made the gang war more of a subplot, because at the end of the final of season 6, that's what I thought. I felt like the final, like the whole gang war was going to be like a little subplot, just a back plot. But yeah, I just wish the Gemma thing could sped up. I wish the gang war was a bit already on the back burner, but just the other side plot. And but all in all, the ending to the show was great. I just wish that this season could have been done better. So these are my thoughts on the final season of Sons of Anarchy. I still liked it, but could have been done better. And I will see you guys in the next video. And